And can you deny that he is
I
Michael Jordan?
must say,
He's our version
I
of
am
Michael Jordan.
absolutely sick of you writing about me.
Mate, I'm infatuated with you as a footballer and can't stop myself.
Yeah.
Trust me, the time to worry is when they stop writing about you, mate. I guarantee you, when they're writing about you, you're doing something right. James is Melbourne. What can we expect from that?
We're looking at video shops and the sort of video-itis, I call it, that I've got. The fact that I can't return videos, and several people in this room are pretty much the same as me.
Oh, light fingers.
Got a fair point there, Jimmy.
Rooboy's Wonder of the Week.
Yeah, a bit about weight. So something you could relate to.
It's a bit too close for home. What about Gadget of the Week?
Gadget of the Week, we've got plenty this week, actually. We've got heaps, so I can't say too much.
I can't believe some of the toys you come up with. Absolutely unbelievable. Heaps happened in the world of footy this week, and it all started off with your mob last week, James.
Monday, yes, it was a big game for us.
Damn keepings off.
Well, and why wouldn't you? I mean, it basically won us the game in the end. I think that Carlton probably were running over the top of us in the last quarter, especially the last 10 minutes when we only kicked one goal, I think about the 17-minute mark to Mark Mercurian. And that's a tactic we practice, and I think the majority of clubs would practice. Basically, we run the ball down, we kick it, keepings off, and you'd be stupid not to do it.
And they should have lost the game in the end. Carlton should never have got that close, but the Bombers should have lost. And I cannot believe Buick, very good player, kicked up the centre, 9 points up with about 4 minutes to go, kicked the ball from a kick out directly up the middle
So
twice.
you're bagging him? Bad decision? Bagging him?
Safety of the boundary line.
So what are
Definitely
you saying?
bad.
He can't play, terrible player?
No, I just said he's a good player. But bad decision in that instance. And also the young fella that played on in the back pocket. You were doing it well. You were chipping it around. You'd created the loose man. And then he played on. Moorcroft got it on the wing. Probably brought it inboard into the forward line, which is something that you'd usually do, but in that situation, you probably should have still gone to the boundary line and knocked it out of bounds.
And Sheeds actually did say it to him after the game when Gary Moorcroft got the ball on the on about the half-forward flank wing and he kicked it into sort of centre-half forward.
Yep.
Sheed said that's a great thing to do, but in this situation, just go for the boundary and try and cause a neutral situation deep in our forward line where it would be hard for Carlton to get it out and kick the goal.
Interesting to see that David Parkin kicked up a bit about it. He was disappointed with the tactics, but I've got to say, look, it's within the rules.
Yep.
Why not do it? Because you do it at your own risk.
That's right.
Now, if a side switched on, and I'm sure North would be the first to react, you man up.
You do man up,
and they're kicking it backwards. They're getting closer to their own goals. All of a sudden, if you get a turnover down there, one kick and you score.
Look,
so you do it at your own risk, but if you do it well because you guys do practice it, it's a good tactic.
Well, it's funny. Two sides have done it this year. I'd say the Bombers didn't probably do it as well as they could have, but they won the game.
Yep.
North Melbourne did it against West Coast in the first round and won the game.
So and Richmond did it against us too.
So both sides, well, three sides that have done it have all won games.
Well, we've been doing it for 4 years now. I think we started in about 93, and it's actually got harder and harder to do because the sides are more awake. I think the first time we did it, it was quite easy to do because the other side had no idea what was going on. But now the side's getting more and more awake to that sort of tactic, and you'll see it happen less and less. But the basic for the opposition, basically, if you man up, you can't do it.
Yep.
If you man up, the problem happens when a spare forward comes down into the back line and tries and stuff it up, and it's easy to do then.
The biggest thing is when a young kid marks it in the back pocket and he realises he's got about 40 metres around him, and rather than sort of hold it up, wait for someone to come, get on the mark and hold it up and waste that time, he plays on, and that's where inexperience obviously can cost you.
And there's one guy on your team you said you wouldn't kick it to?
No, not at all. Not
Who
at all.
that?
He's trying to say that Mick.
I'm trying to say.
Hey, no, not at all. We actually the game against West Coast, we give it to Mick a couple of times. He's a very skillful player, Mick, for a big guy.
Did you get out of that?
I'll let that one go. Now, another issue that raised its head this week, I don't know if any of you saw it, the Richmond-Hawthorn clash, when Benny Gale took a mark and would have been having a shot for goal from about 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle, got a cramp, and it was taken by Paul Broderick.
Great tactic.
It was.
Well, it is a good tactic, but, I mean, what do you think about that rule? Are they conning the umpires? Should there be a rule that the player has to go off if he's injured and can't take his kick? I've got no doubt. I don't think Benny Gale was fake. I think he legitimately had cramp.
Yeah. Yep.
But the point I would have made is that cramp's not a serious injury. No. And why not just blow time off till he stretches his leg and then let him take the kick?
Well, if you had to have held the game up for maybe another minute, as you said, blew time off, you'd probably been ready to kick the ball, and Richard would have been laughing. I mean, Broderick's a better kick. And
on the left-hand side for a left footer.
And was Broderick the closest player to that kick in as well, you'd think, or that kick for goal?
He was. I haven't really got a comment on it. It's a bit of a hard one. I mean,
You'd never give up a kick anyway.
hey?
No.
That'd all be
You'd
saying,
have to-
get up and take it,
I'd
will
have
you
to
please?
be knocked out.
You'd have that shoulder like last year, and you'd be still trying to kick.
I can still do it one hand, boys. It's
I,
all right.
I wouldn't give one away, but I know who runs about 40 yards to get one when someone goes down. The fella
Oh, we
next
did
to
see
me.
that too,
Yeah,
didn't we?
that?
Yeah.
You're very good. You're very good.
Get off.
One of the best.
One thing I'd like to bring up is your new socks, Duck. I think they're the hoop socks.
Oh, okay,
Are
yeah.
you happy with those? I think they look good. Good change.
Actually, I don't mind them.
No.
Back to the old days.
Good for people with skinny calves.
It's
Make your legs look a bit more solid.
They do. They,
Good for you then,
they
Jace.
really bulk you up.
My legs look fat.
But
That's what I'm
we
saying.
only wear them against sides like Port Adelaide, Collingwood, Carlton, all the sides that have got similar socks. If it was, say, wet, it's pretty hard to tell. So we'll wear those in those games.
And also the shorts. Do you think they've got those right? You're wearing the baggier
Yeah.
shorts. Do you like those?
Yeah, I do actually. They're very comfortable. They're a little bit like the rugby shorts. They still haven't got it down pat.
No.
But
I agree that you do need to change them
Yeah.
because the current footy shorts aren't comfortable.
No,
They
it's a very
definitely aren't.
it's a very good idea to change them, but I don't think the way they've changed them is correct. They should go to that rugby type short
Yeah.
because the North Melbourne ones look all right, but they could do it a lot better. And it is, you said it's so restrictive when you're playing in those types.
It'll
Of
take a while. It'll be a gradual change, but they'll get it right.
yeah, they look very good, I think, in the dry weather. But in the wet weather, they can become a little baggy.
the new Geelong jumper.
Good, isn't it? Cop to hiding. It looks like
I
the
like
ink's running in the
No,
white
I like
stripes.
it.
Oh, I
Actually, I
don't mind
like
the
it.
jumper
Yeah.
itself, but it does look similar to a Carlton jumper.
But if they don't wear it when they're playing Carlton, well,
Yeah, who
well, so
cares?
what? Yeah, it doesn't.
Traditionalists not happy. The other thing that amused me was, and I know some people that do like to have a punt on the footy, betting on the Brownlow medal.
Yep.
Who would have thought that coming into round 4 of the 1998 season, the favourites didn't have amongst them Hurd and Carey?
What was that? They didn't have.
What?
Well, you're not favourites for the Brownlow. I mean,
no,
most people
no,
would have had
no.
you two as favourites. All of a sudden, we've got Chris Grant, Scotty West, who's had a sensational start
He
to
has.
the season,
He has.
and Wayne Schwass, your ex-teammate.
Actually, Wayne
big
Schwass has
mover.
had a sensational start. He missed the first game through suspension from the year before, so he is eligible. But look, he polls very well. I mean, last year you would have thought that it wasn't one of Wayne's better years at North, yet he polled the most votes for North Melbourne. So, he definitely catches the umpire's eye, and he's a big chance.
We'll hop into Rooboy's Wonder of the Week next on The World According to Big Jimmy and Rooboy. This is Rattlesnake live on Melbourne's all-new Triple M. This is The World According to Pig Jimmy and Rooboy, thanks to your official AFL paper, The Herald Sun, on Melbourne's all-new Triple M.
And now it's time for Rooboy's Wonder
Our
of the
favourite
Week.
segment.
Well, you
Yeah,
recovered
this
last week. You
fantastic
recovered
segment.
last week with a ripper.
Actually,
We want you
this
to
is
match it.
it's on weight loss and wondering what the best method is for weight loss. Just a quick story before I start. There's a lady in the US a few years ago now. In '87, she weighed 544 kilos, which is 85 stone, which is
85 stone.
She should be dead.
85 stone.
What are you? Oh, wait, 13 or 14 stone.
Yeah, I'm about what am I? Yeah, I'm about 14 stone,
85
14 and a half
stone.
stone. So
That's incredible.
85 stone.
I'm about 14 and a half.
Then in Feb '94.
15, 16, 17.
So about Feb '94, so about 7 years later, she weighed 128 kilos, which is about 20 stone. So she's lost something like 64 stone.
But wouldn't your skin be all loose and hanging off because
Yeah.
it had been stretched so much?
Actually, I saw a picture of this lady, and she looks remarkably well. I mean, for someone that's lost
it's
so much weight.
120 kilos.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
still
yeah.
a big girl.
It is a
She
big girl.
she actually had to lose 226 kilos before she could get out of bed. So
That's like those people in America
that's-
that's been a couple who haven't been able to actually get out of their room.
Yeah.
Because they're so big they can't get out of the door, so they have to get a crane to lift them out through the roof.
So basically, what I wanted to talk about was weight loss, and what is the best method. I mean, at an AFL football club, we're very lucky. We have dietitians. I think nearly all clubs have dietitians now, and with all the training that we do and all the information we get on low-fat foods and all that sort of stuff, it's very easy for us, to keep our weight down. Well, for some of us anyway, Jimmy.
Well,
It's
Who are you having a go at?
no, not you, mate.
actually, looking
Anyway,
very trim, actually.
He
He's
is.
looking
He
very
is.
trim.
It's very
wasting away to 20
very
stone.
easy to keep it down. And in today's era, I think personal trainers are becoming a big part. I know you speak to a lot of people and they say they've got personal trainers and different things like that, looking after them.
I've got a theory about personal trainers, though. If you've got a personal trainer, it means you're lazy.
Yeah, it
Because
does.
you don't have the motivation to do it yourself.
I was actually speaking to Paul Couch the other day about how he loses weight. He's, tends to blow up if he doesn't play footy or whatever. So he's finished playing footy and he decided to go for a few runs, couldn't do it, so he just goes and trains with local footy club because it's the only way he can motivate himself enough to,
Often hard to
lose
do on
weight.
your own.
Well, I think the movie stars sort of started the personal training thing because they had to either put on weight for certain parts or lose weight for certain parts. So they started that sort of trend. But just to you guys, what do you think is the best method? Obviously, exercise is a very big part.
You would always think a combination of diet and exercise.
Yeah, diet and a 40-minute brisk walk in the morning at a reasonable pace, and that just about does it, I think.
Well, actually, that lady, the way she lost her weight was simply a calorie-controlled diet, and a lot of weight loss programs have that. Basically, what they do is you're only allowed a certain amount of calories per day, 1,200 say per day, which is different to what we'd do because we'd have to when you're exercising, you have to have a lot more calories, otherwise you haven't the energy to exercise.
I've been down to the Brighton baths in Brighton, the outdoor ones.
No,
There's plenty of people down there trying to lose weight, and it is the coldest and most stupid thing you possibly do.
Well, anyway.
Well, that was just a wonder of the week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just.
Told us nothing. Just go on a diet if you're fat, basically.
No. Actually, wonder of the week. We've got a few things this week, and it's from.
Gadgets.
A few gadgets, and it's from the Novelty Warehouse. These are, and what these are amber putty, and they're insects. What they are, you obviously can't see them out there. You can't see them on radio, but we are doing this for Foxtel as well. And they're just these these big insects in this amber putty sort of stuff, sort of smooth feeling around your fingers. They basically sell for about $3. They're a bit of fun.
What do you do with it?
I suppose
What
you
do you
could stick it
actually
under
do?
your mum and dad's pillow or something, and pretend that they probably think there's a spider or a bee or something in there.
Whoopee, crap, what's that?
Can you actually take them out of this packet, or right, you do?
Yes, you do. And the other one I've got is a water snake, and it's stress relief. It's called a water snake. It comes in all colours, $2.95. And basically, what it is, you can hardly pick.
We had
the
a go
thing
at
up.
those before and relieve stress. They were creating stress for me because you can't hang on to it. It jumps out of your hand.
You can't pick them up, but that's the other one. And the other one is
It's the worst thing ever, that.
the other one is naughty keychains, which I couldn't show because this does go to Foxtel, and they are fairly naughty, and they sell for $2.95. And all of these things are
is there any
available
chance
from Granny May's and all novelty
Of getting a
stores.
good gadget.
Yeah, give it to me,
Let's
Petey.
get a good gadget.
These gadgets are sensational.
Good segment,
Kids,
good
if-
segment, but let's get a good gadget. I mean, what is it?
Listen, it's
crap.
very difficult.
It's
It's
crap.
very
It's
difficult to explain a gadget over radio. But I'm sure if
You're
a
doing a
kid,
good
if a
job,
kid
though.
was in here and they saw this gadget, this spider in putty, they would love it.
You are now in the red, and you owe us something big next week. We're going to go phone surfing after the break. The number is, and this is a new number, 1300 36 1051. Any questions you'd like to ask James Hurd, Wayne Carey, or myself, 1300 36 1051. We'll go phone surfing next on The World According to Pig, Jimmy and Rooboy.
It's a unanimous decision for fight fans tonight when we take you ringside for Bill Morty's Fight Night. Lightweights Lovemore Nadu and Andre Cray meet in a classic Bill Morty's Fight Night tonight at 7:30 on Fox Sports 2.
Australia have a point to prove, but New Zealand just love to beat them. The opening match of the Coca-Cola Cup. Exclusively live. Australia-New Zealand. Saturday night, 9:15. Fox Sports. This is The World According to Pig, Jimmy and Rooboy.
Time to go phone surfing, guys. First on the line, we've got Steve from Reservoir. How you going, Steve?
Good, thanks. I was wondering if I could talk about the time-wasting issues.
By all means.
I was at the game on Monday, and I actually am a Carlton supporter, and I thought Essendon didn't do one thing wrong. Just
Good on
some
you,
of the
Steve.
some of the Carlton younger guys ran down to the centre where the ball was going to be kicked to try and make a contest and get Carlton down to score that goal. And I just thought they should have run back and manned up, and then Carlton wouldn't have had the trouble.
That's exactly right, Steve. I think you're right.
Steve, I think in the end, if you look at it, if the Bombers had done it correctly, Carlton would have never had a chance to actually win the game. And in the end, I thought Carlton should have won the game.
Me too.
But they didn't. And they wouldn't have had that chance if the Bombers had have done everything right. So
No, I disagree with you there, Wayne. I think when Scott Lucas got the ball out on the wing, there wasn't actually.
he didn't get it
any-
on the wing. He got it.
Well,
he got
sorry,
it in between fullback and centre halfback.
half-back line. He didn't have anything to kick it to then. He probably played on a bit quickly, but he didn't have another option to kick back to or kick around to, and probably he shouldn't have played on as quickly as he did. But in hindsight, without that free man, he would have been stuffed and had to kick to a pack.
The other thing too, he kicked to a 50-50.
Yes, he did kick to a 50-50. I don't know what's going on here, but
We've just gone echoey all of a sudden.
Now, Steve, who do you bag for, incidentally? Essendon or Carlton?
Carlton.
Carlton.
Was Carlton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Carlton.
We
If you
just
listen
lost
to the
Steve on
show
the
and don't
Oh,
go
I
and
was
talk to other people,
trying to ignore you
you'll
two.
understand what's going
Let's
on.
go out to Amy at Hawthorn. Are you there, Amy?
I'm here. I've got a question for Wayne.
Yes, Amy.
Just reiterating last week's show, the issue about being gay, being
Yes.
targeted as gay as such. I'm just curious, you mentioned that you've met most blokes and in your opinion none of them were gay. How could you tell?
Very good point.
Look, I think,
Very, very good point. And we'd like a very good answer.
It is a very good point. And look, I just think that in the environment we're in around a football club, I honestly don't believe that, in my opinion, I don't believe that I've met anyone in league football that's gay. I would say that I've met 99% of all the footballers that are playing at the minute. But like you said, how can I tell? Well, that's a fair point because I probably can't. But in my opinion, I don't think I've met anyone that is.
It wouldn't make a difference to you, would it?
Would it make a difference to me? Well, look, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I'm not totally comfortable. I wouldn't say I'm a complete homophobic, but I'm not totally comfortable around gay people. I could say that.
But at the end of the day, if they're playing football and they're playing good football, it wouldn't change your approach.
Oh, not
to
at
around
all.
the
Not as a
footy club.
footballer.
Yeah.
I'm saying me, in the public, say I wouldn't go and hang out at a gay pub or a gay nightclub because I don't feel comfortable in that environment, and that's me.
But if one of your teammates was gay and he came out and said he was gay, would you have a problem with playing football with him or not?
Oh no, not at all.
Right.
You'd have to support him.
Yeah,
Yep.
it wouldn't be a problem.
Not like Ian Roberts, who did it in rugby
Exactly.
league in Sydney.
Yep.
He opened the door there, and someone's got to come out soon. Let's try Shane at Lesterfield. How you going, Shane? Hello, Shane.
Hello.
How you going?
What's your
Not too
question,
bad.
Shane?
Well, actually, it's not a question. It concerns one of you on the panel there. One of your football teams is changing its name next year, I believe.
The which one?
The North Melbourne Football Club.
What are they changing?
We're what,
to?
changing our name, are we?
Yeah, I believe so.
Where did you hear that from?
Just a rumour I heard around.
This is a good one. What are they changing the name to?
Just the Kangaroos.
Well, funny you say that because probably North Melbourne are predominantly known now more so as the Kangaroos, and I think you'll find like the Bulldogs have changed to the Western Bulldogs.
Yep.
So predominantly that Bulldog thing, a bit like in the NFL in America, where you have the Miami Dolphins and you have all of these sides that use their emblem as their sort of main name, and I think you'll find that a lot of AFL clubs will go to that.
Yep.
Whether North Melbourne has made that move so far.
They were going to scrap North Melbourne altogether.
And
the name North Melbourne altogether.
I mean,
well, I don't think they'd scrap it all together, but maybe make Kangaroos more the highlight. I'm not too sure on that, but I definitely would say they wouldn't scrap the name altogether.
Wayne, what percentage of North Melbourne supporters would live in North Melbourne? It'd be very, very few now, because North Melbourne's not a densely populated area. It's a lot of industrial and a lot of...
It is fairly industrial, although there are a lot of townhouses and things like that going up in North Melbourne now. North Melbourne actually is a very expensive part of town.
it is
Obviously, the
And
inner
you
city
own half
living.
of it.
But
We'll
we'll
keep
not-
things moving along. Let's go ahead to Christy at Mooney Ponds. How are you, Christy?
I'm fine, thank you.
Who have you got a question for?
I just wanted to talk about the weight loss, how you were talking about Paul Couch.
Yep.
Yes.
You were talking about how now that he's off playing footy, that he tends to put on more weight.
Yep.
Yep.
And I believe that most of you guys would have a high metabolic rate because you're exercising and eating, so it's burning off quickly all the time.
Yep.
Yep.
And when you go on a weight loss program or whatever, your metabolic rate goes down because you're not eating as much, so it slows down. And so when you get off the weight loss program or off the fitness program, whatever you're doing, the metabolic rate is lower and it doesn't go back up. And so because it's lower, you put on more weight more easily.
Don't burn up the calories as quickly.
Yeah, and so that's probably why Paul Couch and footballers like him find it hard to put weight back on.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Chris. I think the other thing about footballers retiring is, on the other side of the coin, you keep eating the same amounts because you've been doing that for so long and your body's used to that food intake, but you're not doing the same amount
And also,
of exercise.
I think they enjoy the freedom too a little bit and start picking out of you.
Well, we won't even...
Dermot Burton rule.
Oh,
where he's
eat as
decided
much as you
for
can,
2
as
years
often as you
Tell you
can.
what,
Eat as much chocolate and
Billy
lollies as you can.
Brownless has shrunk into a block of flats lately too, hasn't he? Hasn't he?
He was pretty big yesterday.
He
Well,
We've
was.
got James's Melbourne just around the corner on the world according to Pig, Jimmy and Rooboy. This is the Rolling Stones. It's only rock and roll. Melbourne's all new, Triple M. Melbourne's Rock 105, the all-new Triple M. This is The World According to Pig, Jimmy and Rooboy, thanks to your official AFL paper, the Herald Sun. And it's my favourite time of the week. Time for James's Melbourne.
Thanks, Jace. It's great to be here. Great to be here with James's Melbourne. I'm glad it's a favourite segment of yours. It's been going pretty well so far. But this week we're talking about video shops and basically my lack of respect for video shops, if that's the way you put it. But look, I cannot. I cannot get. I borrow a video and then 3 weeks later it's still sitting there. I cannot get a video back to the shop in time, and I don't know why it is, but I'm banned from every video shop I've been to. There's probably about 10 around the Melbourne, Essendon area that just they see me come and say no.
Do you owe money?
Today. No, I don't owe money. I go and pay them back.
So eventually at some stage you finally get the video back there, and you fix up what you owe.
And then they say, no. I say, can I have no.
Don't come back.
See, that's where the difference is. I take a late video or 10 or 20 late videos and it builds up, and then I just don't go to that one. I go sign up at another one.
Oh, you shocker.
You actually owe money to these people.
You probably don't pay.
No. I pay. Actually, the one I'm at now is very good. They let me off every now and then with a late video. They're very, very good to me.
Why can't you get it back, James?
That's about the only one in Melbourne.
I keep on. It's at home, sitting on the table to take, and I sort of take it and it sits in the car, and I drive past the video shop. No, I won't go this time. And eventually, it just never goes back. But I mean, I decided a couple of weeks ago I was banned from all of the video shops, and there's this new one open in Franklin Street in the city, and I thought I'll go to that one and I'll get everything back. So I borrowed a video. Next day, took it back. Fantastic. Borrowed another one. Next day, took it back. Borrowed one about a month ago, and it hasn't gone back. And I just don't know how I'm going to get the videos back.
What sort of video shops in the city? Are they blueies?
No. Well, there's a new residential. The city's actually improved in residential
Triple
zone.
X rated.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Tell me,
I don't know.
There's only one bloke here who knows where all the Triple X places are, and he's right next to me.
I don't know of too many video shops in the city.
No, there's plenty. There's one in Spencer Street. There's one in Franklin Street, and there's a couple opening up.
Now, tell me, James, what's the biggest fee you've had to pay when you return them?
I had to pay $300 one time.
$300.
Because the choice was, and then they told me afterwards the video only cost $30. So
why don't you just buy it on the spot?
No, because they said no, it's too. So
why don't you just walk in and say, listen, I'm not planning on returning this for a month, so how about I buy it for $30? It'll be cheaper in the long run.
I'll just buy videos. No, it's look, it's a shocking thing, but I can't seem to get my videos back, and I've termed it. It's videoitis. And if you've got the problem, write in Triple M and tell us about it.
And if you own a video store and you see James Hird coming,
or Wayne Carey,
put the old close sign straight on the front door. Don't let them in.
Jason, I've just been. I've had some problems with my feet. And
again?
Last year I had some problems, and this year I've had a bit of a boot scandal. I wore some ASICS boots at training just to see how good they were. But Reebok have sent these boots over from America, and they're the ones that Emmett Smith wears, and they're absolutely sensational. Yeah. They're like a runner, and they're great traction on them, and they've got so much support. I think that's one of the things in football boots we haven't had is support for a running game. And I must say they're the best boots I've worn, and it feels just like you're wearing a pair of runners with the grip on them.
Will you be able to wear them in wet weather?
Oh well, there's a pair with like a rib sole, and then there's a pair with stops in them. So they're working beautifully.
Did you get them last night? Did you?
Got them last night. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, working very well.
You were bagging the boots to me yesterday, so you must have got them last night.
No, I was just saying that the boots in footy generally aren't that good, but these boots are 10 times better than anything I've worn ever before.
It's great now that you've got your footy boots because you're not playing.
No, well, I'll be playing.
The timing's pretty good, isn't it?
I've got about a week to wear them in and get them ready and ready for the big Anzac Day clash, which I'm playing.
You won't be ready because hamstrings keep recurring. You won't play again this year.
And what about in the break when he was saying that he doesn't pay the video shops?
He did say that too.
He doesn't pay the video shops.
Just because you didn't pay them, and now you bring it up on me.
You did exactly what I did.
Just because you're a bit, the video shops will be against you.
He doesn't want his image tarnished.
Exactly.
Time to do our tips, James. Now we put our heads together. How many did we get last week?
We got 7 out of 8, actually. 7.
That's
so we did very well.
We'd be happy if we got 7 every week.
We missed the Brisbane game, and that's one that would have been very hard to pick. But we're going out a bit of. Well, not going out a limb, but we might pick a few that people wouldn't expect.
This is the hardest week too yet, I think.
It is very hard.
Very hard.
A bit like the first week where people were getting 1s and 2s.
Well,
anyway,
for
round 4, Collingwood v Richmond. I think we've gone for Richmond tonight.
Yeah,
against Collingwood.
Yeah, that was unanimous. You two. I actually.
Well, it's not unanimous.
No,
unanimous. You two.
Unanimous by you two.
I've actually unanimous decision.
No.
You're beaten 2-1 on a unanimous decision.
Unanimous. You two.
Unanimous.
I didn't say it. My name's Duck, not Dougie. Collingwood, I've gone.
Collingwood. Well, we've gone for Richmond, so Richmond it is. We've
stand
picked the Western Bulldogs versus Geelong, and Jason, you thought the Bulldogs would be a bit too quick and fierce for Geelong.
Fantastic.
Geelong with 5 changes a lot.
That wasn't unanimous. I went Geelong.
The West Coast to beat Sydney at the Wacker on, this weekend. I think the West Coast will just get in there. Adelaide to beat Port Adelaide in the local
Did you miss
derby.
a game?
Yeah, you did.
I did, but we're getting to that.
Okay.
We're getting to the
Adelaide to beat Port Adelaide.
Adelaide to beat Port Adelaide.
Yep.
St Kilda v Hawthorn. We've all gone for St Kilda, which is it's surprising seeing as you play for Hawthorn, Jason.
Oh, that was so good the way you put those words into my mouth, James.
And
Obviously,
that was unanimous too, wasn't it?
all those people out there, well, it wasn't unanimous, I got beaten 2-1. All those people out there that tip St Kilda in for a shock.
And in another unanimous decision, Carlton to beat Melbourne.
Yes.
That was
Duck going the
no,
other way.
actually, I was going Melbourne.
Right. Essendon to beat Fremantle. And
Well, that was very unanimous. 'Cause
That was unanimous.
one went each way and one abstained. So that was totally unanimous, that one.
And North Melbourne to just get home against the Brisbane Lions with John Northey under a bit of pressure.
And the King doing his usual 30 touches, 5 goals, 140 marks, and
yeah.
getting looked after by the umpires.
You obviously
as
didn't watch
always.
last
From centre half back.
Yeah.
It's amazing he kicked 6 goals from centre half back.
Plays 4 positions at once. No wonder he's the Michael Jordan of footy, James.
Cut one leg off and make it equal for us, would you?
This has been The World according to Pig, Jimmy and Rooboy. Thanks to your official AFL paper, the Herald Sun. We'll catch you all next week, guys.
Fantastic.
Yep, no
Looking
worries,
forward
mate.
to it on Melbourne's All New.